A consultant for MoviePass was removed from his position several months ago after complaints that he acted inappropriately towards women. Unfortunately, he appears to be back at the company. Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder of Helios and Matheson. And yes, I know, it's been a little while. There has been some stuff going on behind the scenes that I've been working on for this channel for the future. Not to mention there's that whole, Christmas thing. I'm engaged now, guys. And I just haven't had time to talk about MoviePass because they haven't really been in the news recently. And I decided I'm going to do something a little differently with the MoviePass videos from now on. In the sense that there's a couple videos that I'm not going to actually make videos upon anymore unless something substantial is actually happening. For example, I know people send me the articles and I appreciate it, but if you send me an article that says MoviePass's days may finally be numbered, I'm sorry, I'm not going to actually report on that article unless something substantial has changed. I have been reading that headline for the better part of the last year. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what? I know they're in trouble. They've been in trouble for a long time. I'm kind of frankly tired of talking about it. Until their days are actually numbered, let's talk about the other things they're doing. Also, I'm not going to be commenting on these articles, these stupid articles that are clearly just clickbait. That's like, oh, MoviePass people cannot cancel their accounts. It's like, you know what? It's a small number of people, and there's more than one way to cancel your MoviePass account. I know many people, and I mean many people, who have canceled their MoviePass accounts, and they had no trouble doing it whatsoever. They weren't even mysteriously resubscribed like some people claim, although I'm not going to doubt that one too much. But this story from Business Insider, who admittingly spearheads a lot of the clickbait articles, but doesn't mean that they're incorrect about the reporting. Their reporting may be biased, but it is still well-researched for the most part. Paints a very, very disturbing story, and this is something that I would hope MoviePass would actually address, not for a PR reason, not because it's going to cost them a lot of money to not do it, but because it's simply the right thing to do. And that is the fact that this guy that you see right here, he is a board consultant for MoviePass, a movie executive, and we're going to look at the article, and he was accused of doing some pretty bad things, to be honest. And MoviePass did the right thing. They apparently removed him. But now there's some question that's come up. How much was he removed? Because he appears to be back in the good graces of MoviePass, and that, I think, is a problem. So looking at this article, it says, after all these bullet points, it was supposed to be a crowning moment for MoviePass. The premiere for the movie Gotti in New York City in June, the first major release for its distribution company, MoviePass Ventures. Okay, all that stuff that I just said about Business Insider being well-researched and stuff, you know what? That's, I know why they wrote that line that way. It sounds better, but their first major release was American Animals. Gotti was their second. I think Gotti was their first release that had, like, big stars. That had, John Travolta, Kelly Preston, all those people. But that was not their first one. That just wasn't. So it makes me look bad already praising this article or Business Insider in general, but, let's just move on. But among the stars walking the red carpet like the movie's lead John Travolta was Bob Ellis, a former music manager with ties to big names in Hollywood. Ellis had been consulting for the buzzy movie ticket subscription app, and some female employees had been trying to avoid him for months. Ellis, 72, had come into the MoviePass scene in April. He was a personal friend of Ted Farnsworth, which is probably going to explain a lot of why he was able to get away with many of the things that we're about to talk about. The CEO of MoviePass's parent company, Helios and Matheson Analytics, and joined the company as a marketing consultant after attending a party MoviePass hosted with iHeartRadio at Coachella. But 8 current or former MoviePass employees who asked to remain anonymous because of non-disclosure agreements told Business Insider that Ellis had a reputation among some in the company for inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Several sources accuse Ellis of touching female employees at events, placing a hand on the small of their backs, giving massages, and kissing the cheeks. In a way some felt was inappropriate, and said he occasionally had called or texted women outside of working hours, causing some on the staff to feel uncomfortable. And I believe rightfully so. 4 formal complaints were sent to Human Resources about how Ellis acted towards women, according to a source who viewed the complaints. Business Insider has reviewed a copy of one of the complaints. The situation came to a head immediately following following the Gotti premiere on June 14th, when Ellis approached a female employee who several sources said he'd made feel uncomfortable in the past. According to multiple sources present at the premiere, Ellis told this employee not to worry about his behavior at the event, but then continued to attempt to engage her in a conversation throughout the night. The morning after the premiere, 3 MoviePass executives threatened to quit unless Ellis was dealt with, according to the 5 sources with knowledge of the incident. That is not Ellis, that is Mitch Lowe and Ted Fartsworth. At the next Monday all-hands meeting, MoviePass CEO Litch told the company that the contractor who had approached the female employee at the Gotti premiere had been let go, according to 5 sources who were on the call. Though Ellis was not mentioned by name on the call, 8 sources said it was widely understood by staff after the call that Lowe had been talking about Ellis. So, again, that's a good thing. And here's one of the reasons why I think people like Mitch Lowe more than Ted Farnsworth. Ted his friends with this guy and brought him into the company. Mitch took him out of the company. At least he did initially. After that, there's a little bit of speculation because obviously I kind of prefaced this with he's back at the company or appears to be back at the company. We're going to talk about that more. But despite this, sources said Ellis has kept popping up at MoviePass business functions as recently as December. That's this month, including a pivotal retreat in which a major leadership change at MoviePass was decided. Ellis's continued presence has unnerved and frustrated some staff members, especially women who work at MoviePass, according to 5 sources. 15 MoviePass staffers have quit or been fired since Ellis started consulting, 7 of whom were women, according to a source with knowledge of the staffing at the company. And yeah, that is not productive to a good, healthy working environment. So, let's go down a little bit more. Business Insider contacted Ellis numerous times via phone, text, email, and social media to comment for the story, but did not get a response. And we're going to skip some of this because it's all, stock stuff. And it's like, and here's the thing. When asked to respond to the allegations against Ellis and the specifics for this story, MoviePass said the following to Business Insider in a statement. MoviePass strongly protects the rights of all our employees, maintains an open-door policy for employees to voice any concerns, and does not tolerate harassment of any kind. It is MoviePass's practice to regularly remind our employees of the resources and avenues available to them, including a hotline, which at employees' discretion can be anonymous and gender neutral, as well as the availability of members of human resources and management, should they seek to report any issues. Healis and Matheson and MoviePass are both committed to fostering a workplace environment where all employees feel comfortable and take appropriate steps to address any issues reported by our employees. Interestingly, you might notice there, they didn't actually confirm whether or not Ellis was still at the company or not. They just said, oh yeah, no. If they have a concern, they can, call us. We'll take care of it. And it's like, yeah, but that's not exactly what they asked you. They asked you if this guy who has been accused of doing inappropriate things in the workforce is actually still at the company. Amazing. So, anyway, who was Bob Ellis? So, Bob Ellis was better known by the name Bob Ellis Silberstein in the late 1970s. He was a personal manager for musicians such as Meatloaf, Billy Preston, and band Rufus and Chaka Khan. In 1971, Ellis married the legendary singer Diana Ross. One of my favorite singers, by the way. And they raised 3 children together. One of them was Tracy Ellis Ross, who was best known for starring in the ABC series Blackish and has been an outspoken supporter of both the Me Too and Time's Up movements. Ellis Ross was not available to comment on the story. So, that's actually kind of interesting that Tracy is a big supporter of Me Too and Time's Up, and yet her father is very much seems to go against what they stand for. In fact, that might even be why she's a big supporter of them, because she probably saw this firsthand. And it probably bothers her that it comes from her own family, nonetheless. Since Ellis and Ross divorced in 1977, he has stayed out of the limelight, occasionally showing up in Tracy Ellis Ross's Instagram, that's interesting. The first time many MoviePass employees met Ellis was at the Coachella party, where they were told by Farnsworth that Ellis would be helping out the marketing department as a consultant, according to a source present at the meeting. Ellis got MoviePass to be a sponsor at the 2018... Greenwich Film Festival, but other than that, 8 MoviePass sources were unclear what he did for the company outside partying with Farnsworth. On LinkedIn, Ellis lists himself as a partner at Helios and Matheson Analytics and at MoviePass, so there's a picture of him. What was certain was that Ellis was suddenly a fixture at events for MoviePass held or was part of. Seven current or former employees of MoviePass told Business Insider they had either personally experienced or heard a first-hand account of Ellis touching female staff members at events in ways described as inappropriate. Okay, now they're just repeating that. So that's, you know, on at least 2 occasions, Ellis took female employees' hands and said, "I want to show you off," before leading them to the red carpet without letting go of their hands, according to several sources of knowledge. So, anyway, there's a lot of terrible things in here. It's very, very sad. But here's why he might not completely be gone with the company. Bob, quote, "Bob is a really close friend of Ted's, and this was a source of internal tension for many months." So here's the problem. And this is why I really do not like Ted Farnsworth. He runs way too much of this show and doesn't know a damn thing about what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to producing movies. He doesn't know how to run a successful business. And he doesn't know how to properly communicate with his employees or the board members. According to this very article, 3 board members threatened to quit if this guy was not gone. And employees, you know, overwhelmingly said they did not like this guy. And many people even wondered what the heck he even did at the company. And Mitch Lowe, it seems at one point, stepped in and removed him. But again, if Ted says something and Mitch says something else, Ted wins. He owns 51% of Helios and Matheson. And 51% of MoviePass is owned by Helios and Matheson. Ted calls the shots. If Ted says, "Hey, I don't care if Bob has all these complaints about women, you know, being inappropriate around women, I want him to stay. He's a good guy. He's my buddy. He's my bro," then Ellis is just going to have to stay. And that becomes a problem. Now, here's the thing. It says here that the Gotti premiere was the final straw. 5 sources told Business Insider that Ellis approached a female employee that night with whom he had made uncomfortable in the past and assured her not to worry about being bothered by him. "My horns are down," he said. He then continued to try to talk to her throughout the night. After this got back to the head of human resources, 3 executives told Lowe they would quit if actions were not taken immediately by Ellis, those same sources said. Shortly afterwards, Lowe told the staff that a Helios Matheson contractor had been let go. Everybody knows he was talking about Bob, one source said on the all hands call. But as you can see right here, this is what his LinkedIn profile looks like. And it says he is a partner. Still listed as a partner. And he has continued to be present at business-related events since Lowe's announcement, according to accounts from 4 MoviePass sources, as well as to social media postings viewed by Business Insider. Ellis was on a trip to Farnsworth Cabin in Albany, New York in October, in which a major leadership shuffle at the company was sketched out. That trip was also attended by Khalid Eatum, an executive vice president at MoviePass, Jake Peterson, a senior vice president at the company, and Adam Day, the creative director of Helios and Matheson. Interestingly, I don't see Mitch Lowe in there, which makes me... I keep wondering, is Mitch Lowe being slowly phased out of the company? I really wonder that, because he hasn't been on... I've reported that he hasn't been on call for most of the on-call, meetings over the phone, or whatever the heck it is. He doesn't appear to be at this meeting about management shakeup, and the only time I've really heard from him is when he announced that, Khalid was going to be taking over the day-to-day operations of MoviePass, so I wonder if he's actually being phased out. Maybe Mitch really can't control this company. I don't know. It's like 2 sources said this was a trip when the decision to have Edom take over the day-to-day operations of MoviePass from Lowe, a change formally announced earlier this month, was decided. And Ellis was right there in the mix. According to pictures and videos from Instagram seen by 4 sources to a Google Calendar invite of events with Ellis' name on it viewed by Business Insider. Ellis was also present during an outing in Miami in December that was attended by Farnsworth, Eatum, Peterson, and Day. So, yeah. Oh, there he is. There's the Instagram post. There's Bob Ellis. The continued presence of Ellis at business-related functions has led to frustration among some of the staff, according to 8 sources, and even factored into the decision of some to leave the company. and some staff members don't know where to turn for help in the company. MoviePass's 2-person human resources staff was fired in November, which was not a cost they should have cut. There's so many things you can cut from the operations, including Ellis, it appears. You don't want to fire your human resources. So, anyway, and here's the key thing. Trust is running low at MoviePass. You think, if you are a customer with MoviePass and you are frustrated, and I feel for you being frustrated, I'm frustrated with this company. That's why I still report on stories like this. It's probably a million times worse if you work at that company. This, and here's a final kick. This is the final thing. Farnsworth, the CEO of MoviePass parent company, does not care about the employees, a former staffer told Business Insider. But here's the real kicker. This is the first time I've heard of this. And Lowe is not seen with high esteem by all at MoviePass as well. Now here's the key word. It says by all. He is still probably viewed way more favorably than Farnsworth, who didn't get even that much. But it's clear that Mitch is not being looked at as very highly. I don't know if that's because they consider him to be part of the problem or that he's ineffective at solving the problem. I think maybe it's a combination of both. But yeah, personally, this guy, this Bob Ellis, I think he needs to go. This is not the sort of thing you want your company, because there are people who, even if it's a great deal, will not buy MoviePass just because a guy like this is allowed to actually stay at the company. This is a PR nightmare just waiting to blow up. This is something very, very wrong that they're letting happen, and they just need to correct the course. They need to get rid of this guy because it's the right thing to do. But unfortunately, again, he's Ted Farnsworth's friend. And Ted Farnsworth does what Ted Farnsworth wants. So anyway, that took a while. I'm sorry. A nice little Christmas Eve present, though, or Christmas gift if you're watching this on Christmas Day. Sorry, it's such a downer. But anyway, what do you folks think? Do you think they should get rid of this guy? Well, probably. Do you think they'll get rid of this guy? Do you think there's anything that can be done about this? I would love to know. So, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.